Chelsea defeat PSG 3-0 in the Club World Cup final. What a statement game for this club. Let's talk about it. Like I said, what a statement by Chelsea. Nobody thought that Chelsea was going to be looking that good today, let alone even winning the game. I'm not going to lie, I was sipping the PSG Kool-Aid, and why wouldn't you be? This team has just been off of course, a great UCL campaign. They were dominating as well in this tournament. They had just beaten Real Madrid 4-0. They were just doing everything correct, and I thought that it was minimum going to be PSG maybe winning 2-3-1, something like that. I thought there was going to be a lot of goals scored on their end, but that was not the case. Chelsea completely just flipped the script. They are the ones that end up scoring all the goals. They shut out PSG. And again, PSG, some people were comparing them to Pep's Barca team. That's how good of a team that they've been in the run that they've been on. And Chelsea shutting this down, just very impressive. And just, again, a ton of credit for Chelsea. I hate that I have to make now a second video about them winning a title this year, or excuse me, a trophy this year. But regardless, you have to give credit where credit is due. And this is a hard tournament to win. I'm not sure still how I feel about it for the players. I feel, awful for them. They're not going to get much rest. I think Chelsea now is going to get about 3 weeks of rest before they have to start getting ready for preseason. It's just not good for the players. It isn't. Let's keep it a buck. But at the same time, I like watching this sport. And when there's high quality football like we saw today, or through other portions of this tournament, it can be a fun watch. So it's a tough one to balance, but. It was a tough tournament to win. I mean, again, you were going against really good competition. And, of course, this is PSG. I don't want to hear anyone downplay PSG. Not that I've seen too much of it, but this was PSG of 2025. This is one of the best teams in the last couple years, at least form-wise. And for them to do that, again, I don't know if fatigue just caught up with PSG. But regardless, it's just one hell of a win for Chelsea. And, again, they deserve all the credit for this. Cole Palmer is just a problem. In big games, the man consistently shows up, whether it's for England, whether it's for Chelsea. He just gets it done. And 2 goals and an assist all in the first half. Just beautiful, beautiful stuff. He was a threat. The first goal was just perfect touch. Just barely got in, but it did get in. And then the second goal was nasty. He did the little pump fake step, got the defender to kind of get a little messed up. Bam, just whacked it in. Man, he's just an impactful player. He's by far, obviously, the face of Chelsea, and again, continuing to show up in big moments, especially in a game like today where it's a cup final. It's a big one, and a lot of people were watching this. So, again, credit to him. He's gonna be a problem. I hope he has a bounce back season in the Prem for his sake, because he is such a fun watch. But yeah, he's just been on a little bit of a heater recently. And again, a ton of credit for Palmer stepping up in the biggest moments. And again, you're getting involved whether it's assist or you're scoring, and you score multiple times. Just one hell of a game. João Pedro, he scores as well. Again, this guy's becoming an instant playmaker for Chelsea. The guy's scoring in the last 2 games that he's been in. It's not like he was training with this team for months on end. He's still relatively new to the club. And a lot of people were doubting if he would be able to have this kind of goal outputage for Chelsea. But, he's kind of similar to some of the players that they've tried to get in the past, just player-wise, and again, more his game. And I saw a lot of people were kind of in about it. And, he's been somewhat of a player that creates some discussion. And it's what he did with Brighton, at least, but you could always see the talent. But again, another nice finish today. Just taps the ball in over Donnarumma, goes in. Beautiful goal. And again, that made it 3-0. The game was pretty much over. So we'll have to see how this guy does in the Prem. But so far, he's doing really good and very early on. Again, against good competition. We'll have to see how he does in the Prem. And we've already seen him in the Prem. But seeing him in the Prem with Chelsea is going to be different. But I think the way it's looking so far, it's looking really good. And just overall for this Chelsea team, I thought they did a great job of setting the pace for today. I felt like the first 20 minutes were really, just both teams feeling each other out. And I noticed really quick, and it stayed consistent. We'll get into it later. The refs were very, very lenient on some of the physicality today. Guys were able to get a lot of tough challenges in. Even a red was given at later in the end of the game. It was a stupid challenge again. Well, not even a stupid challenge. He yanked on Kukureya's hair, but Yeah, it was just a very physical game, but I felt like Chelsea was really the ones that were benefiting off of it as the game went on. I felt like they were really, even mentally, getting in PSG's head. PSG, a lot of their players were they looked mentally frustrated today. They looked like they were acting out, again, pulling on some hair. Again, really just doing stupid stuff, stupid challenges, getting dumb cards. It just looked like, and that was going both ways as well, but it looked like PSG were playing into it a little bit more. And I just felt like, again, Chelsea were really, really doing their thing. And that goes for, I thought Enzo did a really good job in the midfield. Caicedo, he did a really good job. Again, Cucurella just setting the tone. He was going for tough challenges or was willing to bait guys into getting certain cards. Just a lot of guys were doing really good. Even Gusto, I thought he did pretty well in helping out, setting up the attack with Palmer. I just thought the team looked really good. And again, I liked their mentality and just the pace. They really didn't give up today either. And they just really looked locked in. And you have to give credit to Maresca because he did such a good job getting them prepped for today. And I keep saying it, but this is against PSG. This is not against, really any of the lower teams of this tournament. It's nothing like that. Like, this was against the premier competition, the best team in Europe right now. So it's just crazy to see, again, that they were able to play out on their terms and pretty much just that they looked like they just bossed PSG around. Like, it was just really crazy to see. And again, credit to Maresca, credit to the players for bringing the intensity. I really enjoyed watching that. Someone that stepped up as well was Sanchez. I was not expecting Sanchez to step up today, but every single time PSG were even thinking about potentially scoring, he was saving the shots. And it's not like all of them were extremely difficult saves, but he just consistently was making good saves, wasn't really making any mistakes. And when there were those decent chances, he still was making good saves. Another thing that I really thought he did really well was the long ball today. Just getting the ball out and getting it to Gusto or getting it to Palmer. He did a really, really good job of that. And I felt like he really was a key part to somewhat of their attack today. Just kind of, again, stretching the field out for Chelsea. And he did a really good job with that as well. So honestly, again, I'm not saying I watch every Chelsea game. I don't. But this has got to be one of his better performances overall. He's gotten scrutinized a lot, and a lot of it is rightfully so. But man, Sanchez did a very good job today. And just in general for Chelsea, I mean, when we look forward to it now, we'll see how they look fatigue-wise, just because, again, it's not going to be a long break. You're going to then go in preseason, and then all of a sudden we're back. So we'll see how they do physically. I mean, again, they are young guys, so we'll have to see how their bodies respond to this. But for me, it's just like, wow, do we have to start mentioning Chelsea in, I guess if you want to call it the Big Four, but Arsenal are making all these moves right now, and I'm very, very happy about that as an Arsenal fan. Obviously, Liverpool are making moves as well, especially the Wirtz was the big signing. City have kind of revamped their team a little bit as well, and that's really what I feel like most people were focusing on, and again, rightfully so. But now for Chelsea, this team has now won 2 trophies this year. They look like they're gaining form. They look very good. And again, they just beat PSG. It's not like this is a bad team. This is PSG, the team that just won the UCL, that just spanked Inter 5-0. So I don't know if I'm overreacting in a way. I don't think I am. But at the same time, I feel like I need to have a little bit more respect for Chelsea going into the season. I still don't know if they're going to be over City, over Liverpool, over Arsenal. I don't know, but man, they really, really, really look like they're developing in front of our eyes right now. And I honestly am very excited to see them play in the Champions League this year. I think it's going to be very interesting. So, yeah, Chelsea, they're going to be a must-watch next year. We'll see if they can build on this, but right now, everything is going well for them. They were throwing a lot of stuff at the wall for a long time with some of these signings, but some of these guys are really, really clicking. And again, they're being led by Palmer. They're being led by Caicedo, Enzo, Maresca with the tactics. Things are really looking good for them. So, yeah, something we're going to have to look forward to with this new Prem season, but we cannot keep our eyes off of Chelsea. And for PSG, they just didn't have it today. I thought they looked all right in those first 20 minutes, but they made some crucial defensive mistakes today. Mendes on one of those balls, just one of those really long balls, he just did not track it well, led to a goal. It just didn't look like it was their day, and I felt like after about maybe the 20th-ish minute, they just weren't even really threats anymore. It just wasn't PSG's day. Not what I was expecting out of PSG, especially after what we saw, what they did to Real Madrid. They absolutely killed them, and then they just end up getting killed. And they've been killing teams all year and being such a threat, and we just didn't see that today. So I don't know if the fatigue was getting to them. I really don't know. Dembele was nowhere to be found. You could not find him at all. And I like Dembele a lot, but man, he just was not even a threat today. You didn't even think about him. And then I have to go at this guy, even though I like him as a manager, but today was an all-time low. Enrique hitting the player. Are you kidding me? I mean, come on, man. That's the one thing that really turned me off today about PSG. Man, that was a poor display of sportsmanship. Yes, you've been cooking all year. I get it. You get spoiled. You had League One wrapped up in, back in February, January, whatever. You're winning the Champions League. You're doing this and that. But come on, man. You take one blowout, you take one BTA, and you all crash out. You're hitting players. I mean, come on, man. This is a joke. It's a joke. Not a good way to go out on the end of the season for this PSG campaign. Still a fantastic year for them, but I'm sorry. That was embarrassing, and that was a joke. We'll see if he gets a little bit of a suspension or something, but that was really, really embarrassing for Enrique. Last thing I want to say is I thought the crowd was pretty good today. There was a decent amount of chants. The energy was good, though. I was curious to see, what would this game be like if it was at night in America? I think that would have been even a little bit more hype, but at the same time, I understand a majority of this audience is European. They're going to be watching this later in the day. So totally understand it, but I thought the crowd was good. The energy was good. My only gripe really is stop with the WWE announcing in the beginning of the game. I'm sorry, it's just a joke. It made me cringe, bro. This is not the sport that I enjoy. I know this was in America, and I am an American. I like some of those aspects in other sports, but that's not this sport. I feel like we were just doing too much. And I'm not even trying to get political, but why was Trump giving out the trophy to Chelsea? What the hell is going on? That stuff, I'm just like, no, we don't need to do this every year. I don't need to see the president at the freaking World Cup, the Club World Cup. I don't need to see guys announcing players left and right or who's ready to rumble. I mean, miss me with that. It's just not for me. Not for me with this. I just don't need that. So. Yeah, overall, I enjoyed it. I didn't honestly watch a ton of this tournament. I kept up with it, though. Some of it was kind of hard to catch just because, again, I'm a normal man. I don't do this for my job. I don't do this for my job. I'm working. I got other things going on. But I did want to watch this final, keep up with it. And, again, Chelsea just absolutely shocked us. So, yeah, that's all I got for this one. Just, again, want to give credit to Chelsea. What a win. A statement win for sure. And they're going to be going in with some positive momentum now heading into the Prem. They're going to have a lot of eyes on them, and again, totally justified. You just killed PSG, so we will see. I'm just glad that these teams finally get to rest. It was interesting seeing club soccer this late into the year. Wasn't really used to that, but yeah. So now we just have to wait a little bit more, and then they're already back. But we'll give it time. These guys deserve a rest. But yes, very excited to break down the Prem. Keep an eye on Barcelona, Real Madrid, PSG, Bayern. You guys know all the good teams. We'll get to that when we get to it. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a like. If you like my type of content, feel free to subscribe. And if you have any thoughts down below, drop them in the comments. I'd love to hear what you guys thought about Chelsea winning today and PSG absolutely crashing out at the end. So yeah, that's all I have for you guys on this one. Peace, guys.